for tuning in. This is Optibotimus coming with another video review. And today we're going to be taking a look at the new Hot Toys MMS 303 of the Iron Man 3 Mark 24, otherwise known as the Tank. Now initially, I believe this figure was like a summer toy fair or something like that over in Asia, but to get it here in North America, you got to go through Sideshow Collectibles, so that's why this is a Sideshow exclusive. For the package, you got a really nice kind of copper tone here with some nice orange and black for the actual suit itself. You see the 24 right there. The foil kind of carries over here on the side, and then on the back, you see the cast and crew responsible for making this figure. Much like all the other figures, it is a bit of a slip cover, so you just shake this some, and on the back here you have the cast and crew responsible for making the figure. And then again, the kind of text wraps around here, and then you come to the front, and you have the clamshell that protects the figure and the accessories within. Now, as you can see, it's a little bit wider of a House Party Protocol box, and that's really to facilitate all the extra parts that you get. But yes, it is another Iron Man figure, but this one is really very cool looking. I really love the paint job on this guy. So without further ado, let's get this out here and see how cool it actually is. Alright guys, so here we have the Mark 24 tank armor opened up and out of his packaging. And as I said, this is basically just a repaint of the Mark 17 Heartbreaker. But the story for the tank is that, much like his name would suggest, his armor is basically a tank, essentially having twice the amount of armor that a standard suit has, in addition to having the very large and very powerful center arc reactor. Now, one thing that's really very cool that Hot Toys has decided to do is to change things up a little bit. Yes, it is just a repaint, but we get a couple extra pieces that we've never gotten before that really help to pull out the uniqueness of this particular set. So taking a look at his accessories first, in addition to the two closed fists that are currently on him, he does come with both a right and left, I grabbed the wrong one, both right and left articulated palm. That is pretty standard nowadays with all the Hot Toy figures. You got a nice range of motion on the fingers for this guy, so this kind of is your universal pair of hands that you can kind of get a bit of a closed fist on it. I mean, it's not nearly as tight of a grip as that, but it's pretty close nonetheless. And then you also do get a right and left angled repulsor blast sort of hand. Both of these do have the clear piece here in the middle, so the light that's on the wrist can shine through there very nicely. But something that you get that is different is you get a angled pair of hands with that same angled kind of piece that just the standard one has. But as you can see, this has some of that new like play effects kind of thing, and coming in here you can see that a great amount of details in there, and I actually really like the way that it looks. One thing that I would almost prefer though is instead of yellow, I would almost prefer it to be a bluish color, a bluish in maybe this clear section right here, because that would denote a much hotter blast, and it would just look a little bit better than just a pair of flames coming out. But this is actually pretty good. I really do like this. So you do get a right and left version of that. Like I said, that's unique. We haven't gotten that before. And then much like I talked about before with the Mark 17 and the tank here having this large chest piece, the new piece is this gigantic thing. This can actually attach to his arc reactor. All you do is you come around here, you got this little plug thing right here, and basically you just line this up right there, give it a little push. Maybe I put it in upside down. There you go, like so, and you have a giant blast coming through, so you can get him looking like he's blasting directly from his arc reactor, which is great. But again, same problem in terms of the color. I wish it was like a white, hot, bluish color with some of this clear bit instead of the actual orangish yellow in there. I just think that will be a little bit better. Now, I haven't actually tested this, but come around here to the back. This is where the light up section is. You can remove this, and flipping that switch, if I can find the switch, there we go, you can see that you got the nice lights coming through the vents right there, which looks terrific. Here, let me kind of angle up here some so you can see what I'm talking about actually. So yeah, you can see on the side here, you got the nice lights that are coming through there. You got a little bit of a bleed through, well, no, that's about it, just coming through there. I thought you could actually see it through there, but you got the nice bright light right there. So does this, can you actually see this through there? Yeah, you kind of can. You can see it a little bit through there, but not a heck of a lot, and it really doesn't even bleed through there all that much. Let me, just for testing purposes, yeah, see, you can see it does light up a little bit down there, but nothing really else coming through. And let me, I wanted to see how it looks with the lights actually off. And it doesn't even really help that much when the lights are actually off. But I love the fact that you can actually plug that on there. I think that's really very, very cool. Now, honestly, I would almost prefer to use this piece with the actual Heartbreaker, because the Heartbreaker is the one that drummed up as having a super arc reactor. Now, this guy has it as well, but his claim to fame is the heavy-duty armor. So since I was going to do it for a comparison anyhow, I might as well bring him out and detach this and see if this actually plugs in. I can't imagine why it wouldn't. It looks like it's the same mold, and actually, you know what? It doesn't really peg on there. This does not look like it's as long of a, or the arc reactor sticks out as far as this. That's a little unfortunate. Yeah, you can see that the plastic outer section here for this actually sticks out a little bit further. So that's really unfortunate that you can't, I thought that was going to fall, that you can't peg that in there, because I think that that would look a little bit cooler with this guy, just because, like I said, he's the one that's kind of drummed up as having that heavy-duty chest piece. But looking at the chests are identical in terms of the look of them. Like I said, though, just this plastic section that comes around the outside extends a little bit further on the tank. So that is a little bit unfortunate. That actually really does kind of disappoint me, to be totally honest with you, because, like I said, I would have preferred to use that for that particular figure. So, getting him back here, the other thing that you're seeing is you have a slightly different display stand. And by that I mean, you got these extra little pieces that attach right here. You get a little tiny miniature version of the Mark IX, as well as the Mark XXVII Disco armor. Now, these little pieces are not posable or anything. They got this little hook on here, but this is a new little piece that just comes around and kind of frictions to these little sections right there. So you can get those tabbed in there, and they're made out of the bendy wire as well. It's a little bit thinner of a bendy wire than the large one, but you do still have that posability on there. But taking a look at the Mark IX first, you can see real great detail on this guy. I absolutely love it. And then you can see down here with the hands, you got the repulsor blast coming out, letting him fly and control himself. And then you have that same larger piece down here attached to his actual feet. But even on this, like I said, it's not articulated, but a lot of great paint detail, and there's some great detailing here with a very dark gray, and you got some gold. I mean, the molding on here is really very top notch, and the paint is as great as you would expect as well. Again, though, with the flame effect, I would have preferred that more ultra hot blue color that would replace this, but all in all, really very cool looking on this piece. And that's the first time we're really getting a figure of the Mark IX, and that's the same thing here with the Disco or the Mark XXVII. Again, you got the same thing. The feet are, you can see it's sculpted differently. This has the angle here with the leg, whereas this is a straight leg, and then you got the flame effect coming out here, but you also have it with the hand as well. But again, great paint detail on here, really great just overall sculpting. It almost honestly looks like they're roughly the same mold. So I would anticipate that when we do finally get the Mark IX, we probably will get a repaint. And then they just come around and you got a little hook clamp right there that I should zoom back so that you can actually see. And then you just take this and you clip that on there just like so. And then you do that on this side as well. And basically that allows you to use this centerpiece with this guy to attach it and make it look like a scene from Iron Man 3 where all the armors are kind of flying around and these guys are kind of further off in the background, but you can still see them. So again, these are new pieces that really do, when added to this particular figure, really does make this a very cool set. Now, as far as articulation, because it is the exact same figure, it is going to have the exact same level of articulation. So you do get the head that is on a ball joint, you get it looking left and right. You got a lower neck section here that does rotate as well and also moves forward and back. The shoulders here move in and out. They rotate at the upper part of the bicep. They do let me see. I thought they actually flexed forward and back. They don't seem to actually do that. So you just get up and down. You get it rotating just like so. This section here does flex up so you can get him moving just like so. The elbows here, you got two joints, so you get a little bit more than a 90-degree bend right there. You come down here, the wrists are on ball joints, but basically they're just going to rotate. The upper abdomen section can slide up, and then you can move it forward and back. This section here flexes in, and you can get it side to side, forward and back, and then you collapse that right back down, and it kind of locks the whole thing into place. The hips do move forward and back, but you can see there is a hindrance right here in the very front, so you can extend that down, and then you can move it forward a little bit more. These little bits right here, let's see, kind of come up, there we go, and then you can angle it out a little bit. So you do get a fair amount of articulation in the legs. They rotate at the upper part of the thigh, and then you have the two joints down here at the knee. And again, look at all that. I mean, just an amazing amount of detail that's worked into these figures all the way through. I mean, it's really quite stunning. Well, I forgot to put his back piece back on there, but you just peg that in there. And then the heads and the arms still have the lights, but I didn't put the batteries in for that section. Oh, and then the ankles also do move forward and back. They move side to side. Do these ones extend? I don't think these ones extend, but then you got the foot that also flexes up and down. So all that articulation is still there, and everything that you would expect on an Iron Man figure is standard on these nowadays. So you're not really getting a heck of a lot in terms of surprises, but what you do get still is a really good piece, and the extra accessories really do make this a very fun and unique set to pick up. But all in all, again, like I said, even though that this figure actually is just a repaint, they did a really good job of making it unique enough that it doesn't just stand out as another repaint from Iron Man. They're really doing a lot of real cool stuff with a lot of these effect sort of things. And while initially I was really not all that impressed with them, in terms of display options, it really does help to kind of give you that little extra bit. And in my opinion, makes this a well worth figure to pick up. Now granted, it is another Iron Man figure, and I know a lot of people are probably sick of them, but me as an Iron Man fan, I absolutely love this. So if you are an Iron Man fan and you're interested in picking it up, it is available at Sideshow Collectibles. So all you have to do is click on the link down in the video description. You'll go to Sideshow, where you can check out availability on this as well as other Hot Toys and Sideshow figures. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. So once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been Optibotimus, and until next time, I'll talk to you later.